we can, there we go. I'm going to be sharing my screen. That way you guys can see my presentation, and then you guys can see it afterwards as well if you have any other questions on it. So here we go. All right. So we are talking about recruitment marketing today. Recruitment marketing is a lot of things, and it's very important right now with our job market as is. So we're going to talk about different how we can find our target market, what we can do then moving forward once we get that market. So the first thing, what is recruitment marketing? Recruitment marketing is using marketing strategies to attract, engage, recruit, and retain talent. So we are trying to attract our talent to employers. So it's been a big shift in the job world, over the last couple of years, honestly, before COVID. But back, you think about years ago when you're applying for a job, you do everything you can to try and impress that employer. Now we're trying to do everything we can to get an employee. So it's really kind of shifted gears. So what we do in order to gain our employees also has kind of shifted gears. We're in a digital world where everything is at our fingertips. We want things and we want them now. We wanted them yesterday. So how do we attract people with that instant gratification? Which is very different than submitting a paper application and waiting. And now you can submit an application online, somebody can call you that same day. But that's what our folks want as well. So digital is a big thing. Candidates also have changed. So 1 out of 4 people are active. I'll explain this first. Active versus passive candidates. So an active job candidate is somebody that needs a job. So they really need a job. They don't have one, they need one. A passive candidate is somebody that has a job, but is like, oh, if I find another job I might take it. So 1 out of 4 people, so if you have 4 people apply, only 1 person is actually an active job seeker. So the rest of those 3 are just already employed, but have, oh, if I find something, I might take it. So what we do is we have to engage those passive people and really heavily persuade them to become an active, want the job. So this creates more of a robust marketing strategy to keep them active and engaged. So yeah, that's kind of also changed, that active versus passive, the 75%. So moving on, marketing goals. So recruitment marketing goals. Overall, we are trying to attract more job applicants and get those that are more highly qualified. So for instance, we might use strategies putting jobs on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Maybe we're creating a testimonial or giving out direct flyers. We could dive into Google keyword or analytics, finding that candidate lookalike that we ideally want. But whatever we do, it's ideally to have that big pool of candidates and get that right candidate at the end of the day. So these are just different marketing strategy goals to find the right candidate. So examples of recruitment. So kind of before we dive into more of these, I'm going to show you guys some examples of marketing recruitment from Facebook. Facebook is the big one we're going to cover today because that's the largest what employers are using, and it's what most of you are all active on as well. So I'm going to show you guys some examples, and you don't have to respond, but just think about whether you think it's good or bad. And I'll kind of explain some of them to you, and then we'll dive more into it. I was going to do a poll, but it wasn't really working with the pictures, so we'll just kind of skip that. So the first one, here's an ad that I made up yesterday, but you guys can all think about what you guys think about it. I think this is a bad ad. Kind of an example. You can see if I see the West Central Ohio, the header for Facebook on top, but there's nothing else there. I don't know what job it is. It's just a link. When I see this, I might think it's for hometown opportunity versus actually WestCon. So it's very bad, very generic, doesn't tell me anything. So you think about as you're scrolling through Facebook at night, or as a potential candidate is scrolling and this is what they see, they're going to skim right past this because it doesn't tell them anything. So that's kind of one example. Here's another one from WestCon that we actually posted. This one I think is pretty good. There's things I would change looking back. But you can see we have the now hiring, we have a position, the picture that depicts what the position is, and then we have a heading or a description, I guess, at the top. It's a little bit more lengthy than what I probably should have done, but it gives a call to action. The one thing is we created a job board on our website after this, so I would have linked it to that instead of the actual WestCon website, but overall, it's a pretty good ad. Here's one for DoorDash that I found as I was scrolling Facebook. This ad I particularly like because you can see it's the ask me a question. So this is appealing to like Instagram. If you think about DoorDash, their probably target market is that maybe it's college, maybe it's right after college, but you think about the person that's delivering DoorDash, this is appealing right to them. This is kind of right up their alley of the Instagram. It's $27 an hour. So it's telling them, oh, because they want to know how much am I going to get paid to do this. So it's telling them how much they're going to get paid. It's creative. They have emojis.
DoorDash people get paid $27 an hour.
Right? I know. We don't even have DoorDash really in our area. So it's a good question. But yes, it's attracting people whether or not they're actually getting that money. I'm sure people are like, oh wow, I'm getting that money, and they're going for it. So I thought this was kind of a cool ad. This one, Chillicothe VA Medical Center. So before we did graphics and pictures, this would have totally been fine on Facebook, but now I don't think I would read this. I'd probably scroll right past it. It's nothing that's really standing out. Somehow they got 252 shares, so I'm not really sure how that happened. But it's very vague. They're telling you the information, but it's not appealing or engaging. King's Hawaiian, so this is bread. This is particularly interesting to me. I like this because I can see their culture. So I look at this picture and I see the Ohana, mean family. I know right away their culture is family. So if I want to work somewhere that has a very big family culture, this is appealing to me. So I think this is really neat how they did this. I'm not sure I see production supervisor in the graphic, but I don't think they're necessarily going for that. I think they're really going for that culture. So this is a cool testimonial. I thought this was a well done ad, especially for that testimonial. So as you're seeing these, think of what your board, what your culture should depict, what you want people to think about, and if they want to work for you, what do they want to think about? And here's the last one. I don't even know what this company is. But I found this on Facebook, and I thought this was pretty bad. They have spelling errors, the we're hiring, and they're missing the hyphen on walk-in. This is a picture, so you can see they have links in there. I can't click on those links because it's a picture. I can't copy and paste it. I'm not going to go on my phone and type that all out. It doesn't really tell us what the jobs are. Customer care, I'm not sure what that really means, what industry or anything. So you can see this is very vague. So we have to be mindful when we're creating posts. We might know what things are, what it means to us, but nobody else, the outside world, might not. So those are just some examples. So it's kind of fun if you are creating some ads or doing things, look up and find some other ones and see kind of what you think if you have free time. So moving on, recruitment funnel. So the marketing recruitment funnel, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of this, but this is basically that process that when you start posting a job, even before then, is that time it takes to engage, interest your potential candidates, and then when they actually go to sign off and start the onboarding process. So it's this funnel, and I'll show you the funnel here on the next slide. But the goal of this funnel, basically, before this funnel even starts, we are engaging, interacting with potential candidates and people now. And you probably don't even realize it, but you think about your Facebook page, your website. Maybe it's something you're passing out at a hiring event, or even when you're doing a home visit. Based on what you're giving them is already showing that person that could be a potential hire or is engaging with your company what your brand is. So I think of it this way. So if I submit my resume or a job application and I have 5 spelling errors, 5 grammar mistakes, like just a bunch of mistakes on there. What would you think about my resume or me as a person? You might be like, oh, I don't really know. Shouldn't pay much attention to detail. I'm not really sure. Well, think of it kind of in reverse. So if you have an ad you put out there and you have 5 spelling mistakes, 5 grammar mistakes, what are people thinking about your company or what you're representing? So basically what I'm saying is pay attention to those things because people are already engaging and interacting. I read a stat that says before 1/2 of professionals follow companies they're interested in jobs with on social media. So before they're even, getting a job or interested, they're following these companies. So they're already engaging and interacting and knowing about your culture. So kind of pay attention to some of that stuff. So this is the actual recruitment funnel. So you can see people spend most of their time in those top 3 areas: awareness, attraction, and interest. So we're building our brand, attracting people to the brand, and then providing more about the opportunities. So building is something we're doing every day, putting things out about who we are. We're trying to attract providers and SSAs, and those people want heartstrings. So those are things we should be pulling at: heartstrings, posting those personal images, posting those events, because that's what people are getting into. And then when we have that pool, we can say, hey, we have this open position for an SSA, and we already have that attraction and awareness of our brand. So again, most of that recruitment is spent in those top 3 areas. And then from there, we get a big pool of candidates and narrow it down to 1. Okay. So how do we find who we are going to attract? Well, we need to identify our target market, and our target market is different per position, in my opinion. There are some positions that are the same, but I identified 3 positions here that are sort of slightly different, but similar. Obviously, they're all in the DD field, but I put business manager, developmental specialist, and provider. Developmental specialist, DS, we can consider that a preschool teacher if you guys have preschools, but think about these positions. So what do their profiles look like? So what ages are they? So if we talk about our business manager, think about your business manager. I'm sure your business managers are going through your heads, or maybe you are a business manager. But most business managers require a degree, a 4-year degree. And we're not probably hiring our business manager directly out of college. So think of that age range. It could be 30 to 50. It could be obviously different age than that, but think about that median age range. Think about what their interests are. So I think about, accountant versus I'm a marketing major. Very different people. Marketers are social, not that a business manager is not, but very sales oriented, sales driven. Your accounting is more of that thinker. So when they're looking at a job offer, they're probably looking at what the bottom dollar is, calculating things, when your marketers might be more looking at flexibility or what appeals to them, what's selling them. So when you're doing these job descriptions or job ads or whatever you're doing, think about those things. Think about what that person is. Your developmental specialist, they're with kids, so they are social. They like to have fun. They're probably more at the heartstrings. And then you think about a provider. Providers, obviously a huge age range. It could be a high schooler. It could be an elderly person that is taking care of their son or daughter. So it's a big range, but those people, you probably aren't going to find them on LinkedIn. They probably don't have, they might have a college education, but they might not. So they're probably on Facebook, maybe on Twitter or something like that. Indeed. They're probably, you're going to see them, maybe they're taking loved ones to the doctor's office or to the grocery store. They might see a flyer or a direct mail piece before they see something online. And then they're caregivers. So those people, we can really pull at the heartstrings. They are attracted to that heartstrings and those special things. So as you're developing stuff, again, think about what your position is, who that ideal person is, and then you want to find out how you can attract them. So with that in mind, with those positions we just talked about, what strategy would best align with those audience for, whatever job you're looking for? So Facebook, think about who's on Facebook. Facebook is the huge one right now. So anything you're probably posting should probably go on Facebook. LinkedIn, professionals. Not saying that professionals can't, but LinkedIn, you can actually do paid advertisement. That's also pretty cool because, if WestCon's hiring, I can say, hey, friends, WestCon's hiring. You guys know of anybody? A lot of times at bigger companies, people will hey, yeah, I know somebody, but it's a good way to connect where you can find other people that might be like, hey, yeah, I know somebody. Um, so LinkedIn is a cool one for professional people. Indeed, back in the day we had Indeed, Monster, there was all kinds of different things. So those are all obviously different options, and it's pretty expensive, I think, to advertise on Indeed, but it's another option. You can definitely do a lot of, I recommend doing multiple of these things if you're hiring. Direct mail, e-blast. Direct mail is a hard one. You have to have, your list serve. E-blast is easier. So you could easily use MailChimp or a different, whether it's whatever form of online constant contact, MailChimp, whatever it looks like that you guys might have or can get access to. That's a pretty cool one if, let's say you're looking for SSA and you had maybe a presentation where there was, I don't know, 50 SSAs that came and did a presentation for continuing ed. Well, you probably have a list of their emails. So that's maybe an option if you're looking for an SSA. Hey, do you guys know of another SSA? Or hey, we're hiring, maybe you're interested. That's something that you could do an e-blast for. Newspaper, radio, those were really popular years ago. They're still out there. So I would say it again depends on the position, depends if that's worth your dollar. I know you can spend a lot of more money on Facebook or a lot less money and reach more people on Facebook versus newspaper, radio. You're going to spend a lot more money. But I'm not saying it's not effective. It can definitely be effective as well. And then flyers. Think about, you're going to places and you see something. I think about our post office has babysitters looking for babysitters, pull one. But honestly, I've seen recruitment flyers in our post office for a caregiver as well. So think about those places that maybe it'd be effective. If you're looking for a provider for agencies, where would the best place to hit those be? So after we figure out what strategy, or maybe it's multiple, aligns with your job, what you're looking for, think about what you want to showcase on that advertisement. So here's a few examples. There's obviously a ton, but what about your organization do you think people want to know? So is it longevity? When I started working for the board of DD or WestCon, I've noticed how many people have been at their jobs for a long time across counties. I feel like the benefits, au pairs, the flexibility, all of that stuff contributes. But it seems like once you get into either the field, you see what's going on, a lot of people stay. So focus on maybe longevity, focus on the benefits, compensation, holidays, for example. I came from a corporate company where I had 5 holidays off all year. Now we have like 12. That's a huge, that's a huge bonus, but think about things that we have that other people don't. Flexibility, culture. Like I said, pull at those heartstrings. People in the DD field are here because they care. So it's great to show those feel good stories. And what will best attract your audience? So once we come up with what we want, these are other things that you can highlight. So like we talked about, a career testimonial. So you had maybe an SSA that's been at your company for 20 years. Maybe it's time to highlight them with a video that says why they've been here for so long. And then you pull a quote from that video to do a Facebook post. Maybe you do a flyer with that same quote on. Don't ever feel like you are saturating things because it takes, I don't even know how many touch points it is. It's like 14 or 15 touch points in order for somebody to actually see it. So feel free to post it everywhere. If it's a job that you really need filled, post it everywhere because that only gains you more applicants to find that more qualified individual. So a testimonial, like we talked about, a newspaper ad. Maybe it's a video about your company where you're highlighting not necessarily your employees, but your individuals that people know that have a unique story that makes people want to work with them. TikTok, it's a new and upcoming thing, but if you are appealing to that younger segment, TikTok is a huge one. And then job board. Oftentimes we forget about, Ohio means jobs, or even a lot of people go to Job and Family. A lot of people go to different places, ask if you can hang a flyer up. We have hometown opportunities in our area, which is like a job board online. that's run by your economic development. If you don't have that, maybe that's something you could talk to your economic development or even discuss like, hey, we really need to hire this position. We can't find somebody. Like, what do you recommend? Those are other ideas. So once we have all that stuff, how do we craft the message? So here is one ad that I'm going to show that we created, particularly for Mercer DD. But this kind of, I'm going to just go through all the pieces to this ad. So the header here would be that hiring, help me grow home visitor. Pretty direct to the point, nothing crazy about it, concise. The ad text. So we are looking for someone who enjoys playing with kids and helping their parents. Again, it tells us what we're looking for. It's obviously not super detailed. I might think, what is that? But I'm intrigued to maybe follow to the next step. Description, that's that we are hiring blog here at the top. A little bit longer, but it really tells us, okay, you need to have a background in early childhood or social work. It gives us the link to apply. So that's that call to action. And it says exactly who. Obviously it says help me grow. So the help me grow Mercer DD is already kind of its own confusing thing in the DD field, but that's another thing. So it's telling us exactly who we're looking for. We have that call to action. Like I said, it says apply now, and then it also has the link that you can apply to. And at the bottom, it's branded. It has the logo. It has their logo colors. You can tell it's Mercer DD. So social media channels most used for recruiting. Again, I said Facebook and LinkedIn. Those are the top two. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube all kind of follow along. If you're doing Facebook, you can usually also just directly put it on your Instagram page. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 thing. I know the reach usually changes when you're boosting or posting. So that's one thing to be mindful of. But depending where your audience is, YouTube, a lot of times that's just videos. So like I talked about, maybe a testimonial. That's kind of a double-edged sword because you can also post that on Facebook with the direct video. So I think YouTube's probably higher than that, but Facebook and YouTube don't always go head to head. So videos can also be embedded into Facebook. So I kind of correlate those two. So Facebook, 1 out of 10 hire comes from social media. So that's a pretty decent number. 79% of employees use social media to find a job. And of those, 81% use Facebook. 78% of employers use video to advertise. So video is another huge one. So Facebook advertising, I'm going to go into this because this is what sometimes people have a lot of questions on. How do I advertise? I think it's, I know when I started doing it, I was just more nervous because I have this credit card attached to it. So I didn't want to do something wrong and accidentally charge the card a lot of money. But it's really easy step by step. So we're going to go through that. So organic versus inorganic. Organic Facebook content is your normal everyday post. So you post about the Special Olympics basketball team, or you're sharing a post about an autism event happening, whatever that looks like. Those are all free content. You're not paying for it. And organic is paying for it. So you usually see that sponsored by at the top of the post. And then these can be ads or boosting those organic posts. So organic percentage, the organic post, if you have a good following, they can go over very well. And if it's people stories, they're probably going to go over well. The only issue with organic is only your followers are seeing this. So, and then your followers. So if I have, let's say 2,000 followers and I post something, that doesn't mean 2,000 people are seeing this, because Facebook has this weird algorithm based on what your likes are and what you're doing on Facebook. So only 5.5% of your followers actually are going to see that particular post. In order to better reach it, you can also use hashtags, because if I have a public post and I create a hashtag, I can click on the hashtag and see other hashtags. And then obviously my followers, if I'm sharing something, then my friends can see it. But basically organic has a limited reach. So that's kind of the end all be all. And organic, on the other hand, reaches a larger number of people because you can ideally target customers very precisely. And I'll show you, you can see, target a zip code, you can actually do geo, which is a whole nother thing. But for example, when I worked at my last job in nursing homes, we could specifically target people in a particular hospital and serve them ads on the web or on Facebook to come stay at our facility. So you can really dig deep. Not necessarily with Facebook, but you can target people a lot more. And this also allows you to hit your business goals faster. Facebook and boosting and ads is relatively cheap. A couple of bucks on a boost can go very far. So here's another Facebook slide. This is just telling us how clear and concise. Like I said, we have the generation that wants things, they want it concise, they want it quickly. So we need to tailor our post to that audience. So paid posts, they recommend 5 to 19 words. So the headline they say is 5 words. So the headline on here would be join us. So that's that headline, join us right here. Add text would be interested in joining a dynamic team of developers. So they say that should be 19 words. Link description, seeking a front-end developer. And then they also have that other website link down there. And then they also have the apply now. So that is their call to action. So you can see this kind of shows how concise pages ads are, that you don't want them to be very lengthy. You want people to be able to comprehend it. So as I'm scrolling through, I want to be able to understand right away what they're asking, what they're looking for. Job ad mistakes, lengthy. So like we talked about, you don't want to post your whole job posting on Facebook. You're probably going to lose people. Lumping multiple jobs. So this is kind of a two-edged sword. So you can see people that have posts that say, we have these positions available, and it has 3 different ones. Well, there's 2 reasons they do that. Well, A, if they're boosting something, they just want to do it all at one time. It makes sense. It's easier. But also it's harder to find that perfect candidate for that perfect job when you're posting multiple of the same one. It makes sense if you have similar positions, but if you're hiring for a business manager and a developmental specialist, those are 2 very different candidates. Yes, if you spend more money and boost, you might reach that same person, but you also cannot specifically target what you're looking for. So that's kind of a double-edged sword in that one. Job ad mistakes, SEO keywords. So Google keywords, when you're searching the internet, and I search for a position for an SSA, if I'm not in the DD field, I'm probably not going to search for SSA because I don't know SSA. I don't know that jargon. I might search for case manager. Same with provider. I know this has always been a thing, but if I'm not in the DD field, my job as in the nursing home, provider meant doctor. So if I want to be a caregiver, I'm probably going to search caregiver. I'm probably not going to search provider. So that's another difficult. I know there's different terms that we use in the field, but try not to use jargon. Try to use those keywords that are going to find the right person. So you kind of have to get your DD hat off and go into the market and say, what are we looking for? Even developmental specialists. That's a big word. So maybe we're going to say early intervention, preschool teacher. I'm not sure, but make sure we're using the words that people are going to search for that position. And like I said, avoid that jargon. Lacking company culture. So make sure we're putting on our ad how we want to be viewed. What do we want people to know or see or feel about us? And then make sure it's easy to figure out how we apply, how we can go to the next step. Take a look at your website. If you're directing people to your website, make sure your job tab isn't hidden somewhere on your page. So other things, first impression, that first impression is what they're getting now. Make sure you always put out a good brand for your name on the internet. It doesn't make sense. It's always good to, hey, do you know what I mean? Does this look good to you? Get a different set of eyes if you're kind of caught up in it. Links, make sure everything's linked appropriately. ease of readability and ease of application. So make sure you're not losing people through your application process. If people have to do a lot of steps, have to do a lot of things, it's harder for them to apply. So look at that ease of readability, ease of application. At my past job, we had our job thing, open positions at the end of the page, and we were losing people simply because they had to scroll down so far. And it sounds silly, but in a world where we were desperate for nursing home assistants, STNAs. So if that was losing people, we moved that up. So it's little things that we didn't even realize, but look at those things. Follow up, make sure we're following up. That includes response time on Facebook. So if we're putting an ad out there and people are responding or people are messaging us, make sure we're responding appropriately. And then again, keep consistent branding and clear headlines. So making sure that we stand out. Now, how to boost. So we're getting here towards the end. I'm going to show you guys how to boost and how to do an ad. And then we'll open for some questions if there are any. So how to boost. So I'm on my Facebook page here, and I went to the, I'm just made a post. So this is boosting is if you already have a Facebook post or you're making a post, you are boosting that post. So you are making that post you already made more readily out there and available and hopefully hitting other people. So you click right here on this circle area, boost post. That brings me to this page. So this is your goal. What do you want to see from this ad? So if you are trying to get more messages, it's probably, that's for sales. You want people to call you. Engagement means you're wanting people to comment on the post, react to the post, share the post. That's probably an appropriate one for a hiring ad. Get more leads. So this is really for sales, but in this aspect, you could say maybe to potentially get more candidates. Website visitors, if you have your application, your job postings on your website, that could be a big one. And then get more calls. This is going to link it to your business. So it depends if you want to get more calls. So look at where you want people to go, where that next step is, and that's going to where you're going to find your goal. So goal, it will go to automatically if you don't change it. So if you want to change this, make sure you're changing this. Leverage Advantage Creative. So this says it'll leverage Facebook to automatically deliver different ad content to people. So you can either click this or not click this. Button, this is where you'll see at the bottom, usually it says call now or message us. Keep in mind, if you have something you want them to click on, put that on there, but I will not be able to click on my picture and blow up my picture. So if there's something I want them to see on that ad, like that they want to blow up, they will not be able to do that because an automatic click will bring them to a website. So keep that in mind. Particularly video. If you want a video to play, that is not going to take them to the YouTube link. That will take them directly to your website or whatever your button says. Special ad category. If you're doing an employment ad, you must mark this. I missed this slide, but here's the button options. Like I said, you can do no button. If you do want people to sign up, shop, learn more, you can put that down there. But here is this, we're talking about employment. If you do not mark this and they go through that review process, they'll find out it's a recruitment and your ad will get denied. So make sure you mark employment. Now, audience. So the next thing they have is audience. So there's different ways you can do that. You can see if you want to target men or women. The age range. So like we said, if you're targeting, maybe you don't want a recent graduate, so you're going to do 30 to 50. Update that to how you want that person to look like. Detailed target. So you can really go deep. You can say, I want somebody that has a social media background, has social media marketing. You can check these items if you want people with those profiles. So what Facebook will do is Facebook has profiles of all of us that are on Facebook. So they are looking at what we're doing. So they place cookies on websites and on Facebook. So they know, let's be honest, Facebook knows I have 2 kids, I'm searching for formula, clothes, whatever. They're sending me ads daily about Pampers or whatever. So this is basically, they will then take your ad and target to those people that have similar profiles, characteristics. You can also do it based on zip code, and this is what I do a lot, especially if it's a video that we want people to see. I'll do a target to location. I can actually click on this and say, I want to target New Bremen, Ohio within 20 miles, and it'll serve to those people. On the right here, it's going to tell us what the results will look like. So how many people will be estimated to see the post and click on it. And obviously this is different. This is different for how much you're paying and what your duration is. So the more money, the more people, and the longer, the more people. So once you have that, how many days? Honestly, if I'm doing videos or posts, I might share for 4 days and do $10, and you can get a very good traction off of that. Now, Facebook ads. So Facebook ads are different. You're actually creating an ad and instead of actually a post. So to create an ad on Facebook, you go to this ads, which is in the Meta Business Suite. So if you're not sure how to get to the Meta Business Suite, it's like as if you're going to be posting a Facebook post. And then on the bottom, you click go to Meta Business Suite. And right here, you'll click on ads. And it will open up to the ad page. So when I'm going to go up here to this blue and select create ad. And then it opens up the ad manager. So ad manager is actually a pretty cool feature on Facebook. I'm going to click right here what my goal is. So kind of similar to before, what's your goal? Do you want to get messages, promote your page, boost content? So whatever that looks like. You can also do the automated if you're not really sure. You can, I'm just gonna let Facebook do it. You can do that, that's fine. You probably want to get leads or messages, or even get more people. That's probably what your job search is gonna look like. So once you click on that, what results would you want? That's what it will bring up. Well, now is when you put your ad creative. So you're gonna go down here. I didn't actually add an ad. This is just what they put up for me. So you would want to select media and upload your photo or whatever you would like. Put your description in. You can see you change the headline so that right here, either you send message, whatever you want to get out of it. We'll also tell you your count and how many people are going to hopefully reply to your ad. Same thing like before on boosting, we go down to Advantage Creative. We can boost to the area, we can boost to interest, to hobbies. We can do all of that on ads as well. The cool thing is messaging. So if your goal is to message, the goal that I had set on was get more messages. So on here, you'll see right here where the message template. So you can actually set up a question. If you click on this little pencil, you can click on automated response and actually set up so that if somebody messages us, so if we have a Facebook ad about hiring an SSA, if somebody messages us, we can say, thank you for your interest in the SSA position. You can actually put questions that they might answer and you can have them pre-answered. That way they could click on them if they want those questions and you can have the answer. Or you can just simply say, call us, apply here, whatever you want. It automatically has these areas on here if you want messages sent to Messenger, Instagram, or WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is another messaging platform. And then again, like I said, your audience, who do you want to target? You need to make sure you have your employment set up again, length of time. I'll be honest, actual ads cost a lot more than boosted. So they are more expensive. So what's the difference between Facebook boosting and ads? So a boost focus on web clicks and engagement. So they're just really showcasing that post out there. It's a lot cheaper. You can spend a lot more money on a boost, or a lot less money and reach people on a boost. An ad, you're going to get more leads, sales, and promotions. So you can dive further to really find those people. It's more precise on the targeting, but it's also more expensive. The cool thing is they do have that ad manager, so there's a lot more features in that. So it's up to you what your budget, what your need is, whether you choose. All right, that is all I have for today. Does anybody have any questions at all?